Imagine this. It's a cold day just after Christmas, December 28, 1992, in the seaside town of Saltburn, England. A young man, 23-year-old Stephen Clark, is out for a walk along the beach with his mother, Doris. It's a simple, everyday moment, the kind we all take for granted. During their stroll, they decide to use the public restrooms near the pier. Doris says she went in, came out, and waited for her son. She waited and she waited, but Stephen never came out of that bathroom. He vanished, seemingly into thin air, leaving his mother and a baffling mystery behind. For years, that was the story. A young man who had been left with a permanent limp and a damaged arm after a childhood road accident simply disappeared from a public toilet. The case went cold almost immediately. There were no witnesses, no signs of a struggle, and no body. It was as if Stephen Clark had stepped out of existence. His parents, Doris and her husband Charles, made public appeals, their faces etched with grief, begging for any information about their son. The police investigated, but every lead went nowhere. The file on Stephen Clark gathered dust, becoming another heartbreaking statistic in the long list of the missing. But then, nearly 3 decades later, the story takes an unbelievable twist. In September 2020, almost 28 years after Stephen vanished, his elderly parents, Doris and Charles, are suddenly arrested on suspicion of his murder. The cold case had been reopened, and the police were now looking at Stephen's disappearance not as a simple missing person case, but as a potential homicide. What could have possibly changed after so much time had passed? The answer was a new witness, a woman who had seen something on that fateful day back in 1992. This witness came forward after a renewed police appeal. Her account directly contradicted the story Doris had told for decades. She claimed she saw Stephen Clark later that afternoon. Well, after the time his mother said he went into the restroom and never came out. She reported seeing him walking in the town, looking distressed. This wasn't the only crack in the official story. A mysterious letter, sent anonymously to the police just a few years after Stephen's disappearance, was also re-examined. The letter, which had been dismissed at the time, was written by someone claiming to know who killed Stephen Clark. The author seemed to have intimate knowledge of Stephen's life, details that only someone close to him would know. The police now believed this letter was the key. The arrest of his parents sent shockwaves through the community. Could the loving, grieving parents who had appeared on television all those years ago have been responsible for their own son's disappearance? The police certainly thought it was possible. They searched the Clarks' home and garden, digging up the very ground where Stephen had grown up. They believed the motive might have been related to Stephen's disability and the strain it may have put on the family. But after holding them for questioning, Doris and Charles were released without charge, and the mystery only deepened. The story of Stephen Clark is just one of countless disappearances that leave families and communities searching for answers. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people are reported missing. While many are found, and some choose to leave on their own accord, a significant number become enduring, painful mysteries. These aren't just statistics. They are people with families, friends, and futures that were cut short. Take the case of Bryce Nicisa, a 19-year-old college student who vanished in August 2013. Bryce was driving home to see his parents in Orange County, California. His journey was strange and erratic. He called his parents multiple times, seeming disoriented. He told them he was pulling over to sleep in his car. The next morning, his car was found crashed and overturned near Castaic Lake, but Bryce was nowhere to be found. His laptop, wallet, and phone were still inside the vehicle. An extensive search of the lake and surrounding area turned up nothing. What happened to Bryce in those final hours? Did he wander off in a confused state? Was he met with foul play? 9 years later, his family is still desperately waiting for an answer. Or consider the perplexing disappearance of Lauren Spirer. In June 2011, the 20-year-old Indiana University student went out for a night with friends. After visiting a few bars, she was last seen walking home alone, barefoot, in the early morning hours. She was captured on security cameras at several points, but the final camera shows her turning a corner, and then she's gone. The investigation that followed was massive, with police interviewing dozens of people and searching numerous locations. Theories have swirled for over a decade. Did she overdose? Did she stumble and fall somewhere, succumbing to the elements? Or was she abducted? Despite national attention and a family that has never given up hope, Lauren Spirer remains missing. These cases are incredibly frustrating for investigators and agonizing for loved ones. The lack of closure, the endless what-ifs, can be a form of torture. With Stephen Clark, the police eventually announced that they believed he was likely dead, but without a body, the case against his parents couldn't proceed. Doris and Charles Clark were formally cleared in 2021. But the cloud of suspicion and the pain of not knowing what happened to their son will likely follow them for the rest of their lives. So what really happened on that December day in Saltburn? Did Stephen Clark, a man who relied heavily on his family, simply walk away to start a new life? Did he meet with a tragic accident? Or was there a darker, more sinister reason for his disappearance, one that has been kept secret for over 30 years? The public restroom where he was last seen by his mother has long since been demolished, but the questions it holds remain. The mystery of what happened to Stephen Clark, Bryce Laspisa, and Lauren Spirer are powerful reminders of how fragile life can be and how quickly a person can vanish from our world. They become ghosts in their own stories, their faces forever frozen in time on missing posters, their fates locked away in a secret that refuses to be told. The truth is out there somewhere, waiting to be discovered, waiting to bring peace to the families who have waited for so long. Thanks for watching. If you found this story compelling, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world's most baffling unsolved mysteries. We'll see you in the next one. What would you do if your child drove away one afternoon and never came back? For the Colden family, this nightmare became a reality. On December 18, 2011, 23-year-old Phoenix Colden left her family's home in St. Louis, Missouri. She was just driving to the store, a simple errand, but she never returned. This was the last time her parents would ever see her. Hours turned into a frantic evening. Then, the first strange clue emerged. Phoenix's Chevy Blazer was found, abandoned, in the middle of a street in East St. Louis, just a 25-minute drive from her home. The engine was still running, the driver's side door was ajar, and her purse was inside. But Phoenix was gone. What happened next is a story of frustration and heartbreak. The police impounded the car that very night, but shockingly, they didn't notify Phoenix's parents for weeks. By the time the Coldens found out their daughter's car had been located, crucial time had been lost. They felt the police weren't taking the case seriously enough. Was it because Phoenix was a young black woman? Was it because the car was found in a notoriously rough area? These questions haunted them. Feeling abandoned by the authorities, Goldia and Lawrence Colden took matters into their own hands. They launched their own investigation, plastering missing person flyers all over the city and beyond. They hired private investigators. They spent their life savings, tens of thousands of dollars, desperately searching for any lead, any sign of their daughter. Their quest for answers was relentless, but it came at a devastating cost. They fell victim to cruel hoaxes from people trying to exploit their pain for money. Eventually, they lost their home and their financial stability, but they never lost hope. For years, the public image of Phoenix was that of a happy, well-adjusted young woman. She was a talented fencer, deeply religious, and close to her family. The idea that she would just run away seemed impossible. But a 2018 documentary, The Disappearance of Phoenix Colden, uncovered a hidden side to her life. Investigators found that Phoenix had a secret second cell phone and was possibly communicating with people her parents didn't know about. She even had a different birth date listed on some documents, suggesting she might have been cultivating a separate identity. The most chilling revelation came from a video found on her phone, recorded about a month before she vanished. In it, a visibly distressed Phoenix says, "I just want to be happy, man. I can't remember a time when I was happy." The documentary described it as showing a girl in crisis. This painted a new, more complex picture. Was Phoenix secretly unhappy? Was she planning to leave her life behind and start over somewhere new, under a new name? This discovery split theories wide open. One possibility is that Phoenix did run away. Maybe the pressures of her life were too much, and she orchestrated her own disappearance to escape and find the happiness she felt she was missing. It's a hopeful thought for some that she's out there somewhere, alive and well, living the life she wanted. But the circumstances surrounding her car are deeply unsettling. An abandoned running vehicle in a high-crime area points to a much darker scenario. Did she encounter foul play? Was she a victim of a carjacking that went horribly wrong? Could she have been targeted by someone she met online, someone her family knew nothing about? The location where her car was found is known for human trafficking, a terrifying possibility that her parents have had to confront. Over a decade later, the case remains cold. Phoenix Colden is still a missing person. Her family has endured unimaginable pain, not just from the loss of their daughter, but from the systemic failures and cruel deceptions they faced while trying to find her. They continue to search for answers, holding on to the hope that one day they will know what happened to Phoenix on that cold December afternoon. Phoenix's story is a powerful reminder of the thousands of Black women and girls who go missing in the United States every year, whose cases often don't receive the media attention or law enforcement priority they deserve. Her parents have become advocates, fighting to ensure that other families don't have to go through what they did. What do you think happened to Phoenix Colden? Was it a planned escape or a tragic crime? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any information about her disappearance, please contact the authorities. The numbers are in the description. Let's keep her memory alive and continue the search for answers. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more unsolved stories.